The following stories are inspired by documented paranormal encounters. Some locations and identities may have been changed to protect the people involved. These stories may be disturbing for younger audiences, and listener discretion is advised. This podcast is based on true events.
Hi, I'm Dalia, she, her.
Hey, I'm B, they, them.
And I'm Brandon, he, him.
And this podcast is based on true events.
I added the "and" in there. I really shouldn't have. We don't have to redo it for a fourth time. We're okay.
What do you mean? That was the first try. We
That
did
was
perfectly.
absolutely the first try.
Yeah.
I have no idea what
Zero
you're
doubt.
talking about.
And it wasn't my fault
How
the
dare
first
you
two
accuse
times.
me of that? Yeah. Welcome to episode 10. For real this time. We have a bit of a confession to make. We have made this before, kind of, because in the past two episodes, if you read the show notes, you'll have noticed me vehemently apologizing for the fact that the original episode 8 that we recorded got completely deleted.
Womp womp.
And what happened was, in episode 9, in what ended up being episode 8, there it is, with Dalia's like Men in Black-esque story, right in the middle of it, the power goes out. Excuse me. And what happened with that, like why it deleted the one previous, is because, so after we record a session, I will save the file as like what it is, and then I'll just delete the audio track and keep going, and it'll stay on that file. So what happened was, it was still on the file, it was still named the previous file, and it basically overwrote the entire last recording session so that it could save that previous one.
Lots of
which it
technical
did
stuff.
well. It did save that one for us, and I'm happy about that. However, so this is us letting you know we have heard all of these stories that we are telling today before.
Mm-hmm.
However, we thought they were really good stories. We all put a lot of time and effort into writing our stories and making them, in a way that we can read properly. And like, I don't want to say researching, because we really don't do a whole lot. At least I personally don't do a whole lot of quote research.
It's just a lot of time.
Yeah, it just takes time. Like, and that's what it comes up. We didn't want to lose that, especially like my story's pretty heavy and stuff, and I felt like it's a story that needs to be told.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we just don't want to waste stories in general, and so we're redoing those stories here today, which, as of right now, it's been a good month still since we've recorded last.
And I have the memory of a goldfish anyways, so I don't remember.
I get that.
I was telling Brandon and Dalia that every week when the new episode comes out, I feel like I'm hearing all of the stories all over again.
Yeah.
That's so real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, it's like a blackout or something in the middle of recording, and then I could probably listen to it the next day if I'm being honest.
Yep.
And
well, also it's kind of different because I am adding in stuff too, and so you literally are hearing it.
It's a new experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so last episode, and it's so funny because I would listen to it back and I would hear like, damn it. There were so many times we were like, this is our 10th episode, guys. So if you were confused by that, that's what happened. So this is really the 10th episode. It's going to be a really creepy one. So hope you're ready for that. But first, vibe checks. How's everybody doing today on this Thursday night in the middle of the week? This is the first time we've recorded in the middle of the week.
I was already telling y'all, my brain has been in Chicago for 2 weeks. I'm going to an AT's concert this weekend in Chicago with a really good friend of mine. We're road tripping. I'm like doing a half day at work tomorrow so we can prepare the day before. I'm very excited. It's my very first K-pop concert, and I am like over the moon about it. Over the moon. It doesn't help that I just drank some caffeinated tea.
Yeah, she's been really excited.
So it's consumed me. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's gonna happen after this concert. I'm probably gonna like have some pretty big post-concert depression.
Just kind of like deflate for a bit.
Yeah, but luckily for me, for some reason they're already releasing a new album in September.
Oh.
which means they have been overworked, the poor guys. But that is a conversation for another day.
Right.
Who's next?
I'm having a pretty great day. My life has been utter chaos recently.
Ain't that the truth?
And
Not for you. I mean, just
in general, man.
Yeah.
And today was the first day where I don't know, everything just felt okay.
I'm happy.
It felt
to hear
all right.
that.
Woke
That's
up
nice.
okay, had a good day, went on a date with my husband, went to go see the new Superman movie, got to ride my motorcycle today, hanging out with my friends. They
Hell
made me
yeah.
Mothman tea in a Mothman cup.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'm having a pretty good day.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's great to hear. I'm okay. I'm currently good. Don't get me wrong. I'm having a great time right now. But getting up to this point, especially this week, it has not felt the best. But at the same time, it hasn't been like bad. Like I wouldn't say I've been having a bad week. Just kind of a little bit of a rough one, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm looking forward a little bit to this weekend because me and my niece Jordan, who does she is currently working behind the scenes with us and coming up with merch designs based off different episode stories. So look forward to that in the future. But we have plans for her to come down on Saturday, and we're gonna hang out and go to Kawa, which is a revolving sushi bar, and we're gonna play some board games. Specifically, she requested the Stardew Valley board game because she's like, I wanted to play that.
That's
and
a
I want to play it
haven't
so
gotten
bad.
to play it.
It's a hefty
Well, we
one.
usually don't play it at like our usual game nights because of how kind of hefty it is.
It's like 3.5 hours.
It could be, yes. It very much can be.
With just the two
With
of
just
us,
the two of us, it was really long. But it's fun. It's a really nice co-op game where you're working to complete tasks around the town. But yeah, I'm excited for that. But I have not been sleeping well the past couple nights for one reason or another. I think last night I just kept waking up not last night, the night before, excuse me, I just kept waking up for no reason whatsoever. Just multiple times. And then last night it felt like I spent the entire night having just a bad dream. And like, I remember it, and looking back at it, I'm like, that's dumb. I don't know why I was upset with that, but it's a dream. And so obviously it feels way too real in the moment, right?
You said that was last night?
Yeah, last night was a bad dream. Night before I wasn't sleeping well.
When
kept
I
waking
tell
up.
you that I have had, including you now, like 6 different people tell me that last night they couldn't sleep because they were having too much anxiety or nightmares, things like that, or they've just been having trouble in general sleeping this week. That's, wow. Weird week.
You two might know better than
I think Mercury's in Gatorade.
I was say, is something up with the planets right now? Because like I don't personally know that off the top of my head, but you two might.
I'm
have
your
a better
blue-haired
shot.
friend with the septum, and I don't know.
That's one of the colors.
Yeah, that's one of the colors.
That's one of the colors.
The moon, I think, was full recently, but it's not full right now.
No.
If that's what you're implying.
No.
Mercury might be in Gatorade, like B had said.
Yeah,
but
I follow the moon, not the planets. But that's me. I think it's I'm stopping because I'm trying to not call myself dumb because I'm not dumb.
No, you're not dumb. Don't say that.
No, I get yelled at. If
B
I call
knows
myself
that they
dumb.
will get yelled at if
I'm not dumb,
and a look.
but it's a little above my pay grade.
That's fair.
I used to be really into astrology. I could read birth charts and everything. I'd have to like get back into studying.
Oh, I
to
know
be able
my
to do it.
entire natal chart.
Like, do you
from
know how to
top
like
to bottom.
read people's other people's natal charts and stuff
Nope,
too?
no idea. Just
Pretty
mine.
sure you asked me about my stuff when we first started talking.
Yeah.
Way back when I had, I remember I was like, I really want to impress this girl. So I messaged my mom like, hey, when was the exact time I was born?
And I really appreciate that. He's got a Capricorn moon.
I have a Sagittarius moon.
I have a Cancer moon,
Am I-
which explains a lot.
Aren't I like a double Scorpio and then a Capricorn?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Scorpio sun, Capricorn moon, Scorpio rising is what he is.
My entire big 6 is either Scorpio or Sagittarius.
I have a shit ton of Sagittarius in my chart too. That's probably why we vibe.
Yep.
I have a stellium. Do you have a stellium?
I have several.
Sagittarius?
I have several stelliums.
Really?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
I will give you my birth chart so you can take a look.
Yeah.
I have several stelliums.
Well, now we got to post our birth charts on the Facebook page and the Instagram page.
I may not know 100% what's going on exactly here, but I am happy to be here. I am proud of all the things in my life I have went through to get to this exact moment, and I mean that very, very. I mean that actually.
Yeah, you should. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Because, like, that sounds very sarcastic, but I legitimately wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here talking about, like, astrology and creepy stuff with you guys. So,
yeah,
like,
man. Especially knowing you the last, 13 years?
I thought it was, like, 30 years. I was like, I'm not that old yet.
No, like 13 years.
voice.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
It's been, yeah. A lot of change, a lot of everything. And now it's time for a lot of scares. Huh?
I started to sing a song and then I was like, wait, that's probably copyrighted. Never mind.
For sure, copyright. Now, one more time. A lot of, I forgot. A lot of change, a lot of something or other, and now it's time for a lot of scares, I believe is what I was trying to say. So, I believe I'm first, right? Do we have anything else before we get started, or are we ready?
I'm chill.
I don't think so.
All right, cool. Prepare, guys. And like I said to you guys listening right now, we have all heard these before, whether we remember them exactly or not. But in my opinion, I feel like even though we've heard them, hearing them a second time will give us a good reason to really sink into them now, because we're not exactly working off of surprise anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with my story. So now we can really appreciate the details, if you would. So, anger, sorrow, jealousy. How do you cope with negative emotions? Has anything in your life ever made it significantly more difficult to deal with these emotions? What if that thing making it more difficult to deal with the emotions was an evil entity not from this world? And if you couldn't get rid of this entity, would you be able to do what it takes to protect those around you? So, I do want to give a trigger warning for attempted suicide in this. But, as told by the show A Ghost Ruined My Life, I give you the story called Spiders.
Oh, fuck. I forgot. Damn it. All right, I'm ready. I'm locked in.
2017, Southern United States. Candace Weston and her partner Lucinda had just gotten engaged and were raising their daughter Ray Ray together. One day, while playing with Ray Ray in their house, Candace accidentally knocks over a photograph of Lucinda and her father, breaking it. As Candace is picking it up and she's apologizing to Lucinda, saying, "I'm sorry, Button," Lucinda pauses, looking perplexed. "What did you call me?" Candace, confused, replies with what she just said. "I said I'm sorry, babe." But Lucinda had just heard her call her Button. She explains that it was a nickname her father used to call her and that she hadn't heard it in years. At that moment, the phone rings, and a still perplexed Lucinda answers it to find out that her father had just been found dead of a possible overdose.
Damn.
Even more, there were suspicions that he had done this intentionally to himself. 3 days later, the couple was visiting with some family to talk about funeral preparations, but the emotion is just too much for Lucinda, and they decide to leave not long in. Candace goes to find Ray Ray and stops to look at a picture she finds of Lucinda and her father that was in the house. As Candace picks it up to get a better look, she sees and feels what looks like a dark black spider scuttle quickly across her hand, making her drop the picture. Thankfully, the spider seemed to have other places to be, and Candace couldn't seem to locate it after that. Later that night, as she's just starting to drift off to sleep, she hears a faint scratching noise and opens her eyes a crack to see what looks like long, dark, withered fingers reaching around the frame of her bedroom door. She jolts awake and tries to wake Lucinda, but as she looks back, whatever she saw was gone. Just as she starts trying to rationalize to herself what she saw was merely just a product of her half-asleep brain, Candace hears Ray Ray scream from the room down the hallway. I do want to apologize, by the way. My mouth feels really dry for some reason.
You're good. Do you need some water?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm just gonna power through.
Please don't ASMR the lip smacking in the microphone.
Really do I. So, Candace and Lucinda, hearing Ray Ray scream, bolt out of bed and into Ray Ray's room. Ray Ray says that she had just seen a monster. And while Lucinda comforts Ray Ray with promises of that it was all just a bad dream, Candace can't help but think she saw it too. Ever since the death of Lucinda's father, things start to feel different in the house. But Candace tells herself that it's just grief settling in. Or setting in, rather. She tries to distract Ray Ray from her mom's change in mood as best as she can. One day, while playing hide-and-seek with Ray Ray, Candace is trying to find a hiding place when she turns off the light to a room that she just exited and gasps. From the dim light glowing through the curtains to the one window in the room, Candace sees the silhouette of what looks like a person standing halfway into the window light. Well, it had the relative shape of a person at least, but it looked wrong. Its fingers too long and skinny, its arm bent at a weird angle, its shoulders looked like spikes were protruding from it, and the end of what looked like greasy thin hair coming from the side of the head that she could see. Candace instantly turned the light back on, only to find nothing there. She was still the only one in the room. Thinking that maybe she had seen wrong, she turned the light out again, and again, there stood the silhouette. Maybe it was a trick of the light. She turned the light on again.
There are rules.
There are rules. She turned the light on again, looking to make sure that there was nothing that could be casting any weird shadows in the room. But when she turned the light off again, there it was. And this time, did the fingers flex a little bit? As she turned the light on one more time, the sound of a child's giggling behind her made her jump. She turns around expecting to find Ray Ray, but nobody is there. She decided to go check on Ray Ray and left the room, keeping the light on this time. And Candace found Ray Ray watching cartoons in the living room and tried to ask her if she had seen anything lately in the room Candace had just come from. But right at that moment, Lucinda came down to let Candace know that it was about time for her to be getting ready for work. Candace suddenly felt a burst of rage inside her and spat back at Lucinda. Well, maybe it's time for you to get your ass out of bed. As the rage quickly left her, Candace stared at the confused and hurt face of Lucinda and tried to sputter out an apology, trying to tell her that she had no idea why she said that, as Lucinda turned and stomped back up the stairs. Candace tries to tell herself that she's just tired. She hasn't been sleeping well since the news of the death, after all. Candace was a professional bartender downtown and had dreams of one day opening up her own restaurant. That night, as she's preparing for the nightly rush, she feels something behind her and finds her eyes drifting up to the mirror on the ceiling above her. In the mirror, she sees a black figure standing hunched over behind her, looking like it was getting ready to strike. In the second that she saw it, she could have sworn it bore a resemblance to the silhouette she had seen in the room earlier. She screams and whips around, throwing the glass she had been cleaning in the direction of the figure. But as the glass hits the ground, she realized that nothing was there. Just a fellow employee across the room from her, looking really concerned for her mental well-being. Candace begins to think she might be losing her mind at this point and decides to go home early. She's greeted at home by Lucinda, who looks worried that Candace is home early. Lucinda asks Candace about it, trying to find out if everything's okay, but Candace can't bring herself to answer her. The rage that Candace felt earlier starts bubbling again inside of her. She tells Lucinda to leave her alone. When Lucinda tries to put a comforting hand on Candace's shoulder, Candace jerks away from her touch. Confused, Lucinda tries again to ask if Candace is okay, causing Candace to snap. For the last time, Candace yells, "Lay off! I do everything around here, and all you do is sit on your sad ass all day." Lucinda, shocked, just says, "Okay," and starts to shakenly walk away when Candace yells, "Shut up!" A coffee mug on the table near Candace suddenly flings at Lucinda's back, shattering to pieces on the doorframe next to her. Lucinda turns around with a mixture of fear and anger on her face. "What the hell is wrong with you?" "Mom?" comes the soft voice of Ray Ray from down the hall. Lucinda hurries off to put Ray Ray back to bed as Candace starts to hear a cacophony of indistinguishable voices as if they're being whispered from the air around her. She shakily pours herself a drink from the nearest bottle of wine, hoping to calm herself down or try to drown out the voices. But as she glances up into the window of her kitchen, she sees it again. That same black figure reflected behind her in the glass. She turns, but once again finds nothing there. And when she turns back to the window, it's no longer in the reflection either. "Go away," she says as she chokes on the tears that start flowing. Something was really going on here, and there was no way she could explain it away anymore. Candace says as time went on, things got worse. She would see things out of the corner of her eye more often. She would start getting angry at the drop of a hat for no reason whatsoever. And during one of their screaming matches one night, Lucinda said something that shocked Candace to her core. Lucinda compared Candace to how her dad was before he died. Unhinged, picking fights for no reason, scaring the crap out of Lucinda and others around him. After hearing that, Candace finally tells Lucinda about how she has been feeling like someone was with them in the house ever since Lucinda's father died. Candace thinks there might be a connection with the mysterious and abrupt death of her father-in-law and what has been happening to her. One day, as Candace is doing some cleaning around the house, she accidentally knocks a little rubber ball off of Ray Ray's dresser. The ball rolls under the bed, and so Candace goes to retrieve it. It's one of those little bouncy balls that has a little light inside of it. At least that's what was depicted in the show. As she reaches her hand under the bed, she feels a sharp prick on her finger and pulls her hand back to see two little drops of blood blossoming under two little cuts right next to each other on her finger. They almost looked like a spider bite. She looks under the bed and actually sees a dark black spider scuttling out from behind the ball she was trying to retrieve. As she stands up, she sees another spider drop from the ceiling on a web right in front of her face. She swats it away, but as she looks around the room, what looks like hundreds of little black spiders start pouring out of every crevice that the room has. The vents, the corners of the room, the bed, all spiders. She backs up into the hallway, horrified, and looks down the hall for an escape route, only to see the same black figure she had been seeing standing in the middle of the hallway amidst countless swarms of spiders. Candace, now desperate, convinces Lucinda that they need to move. Candace hopes beyond hope that getting them out of the house will allow her to escape this entity that she has been seeing. They find a very big house that they were able to move into very shortly after leaving their last home. Everything was good for a long time, and Candace was starting to believe that everything was okay again. But she was wrong. One day, as Candace is walking through her house, she sees them again. Swarms of spiders crawling in and out of the vents on the floor. And as she looks up, the tall, lanky black shadow figure, its fingers skinny and elongated, its hair matted and greasy, its joints bent wrong, spikes up its shoulders. Candace starts to back away, horrified, when she hears Lucinda's voice to her right. "What's wrong with you stupid bitch?" Candace turns to see Lucinda and asks, "What did you say?" "I said you were about to slip. Be careful," Lucinda says, joking. Candace looks back to see the spiders and the figure gone once again. It had followed them. Candace said that seeing the figure was heartbreaking for her. The last thing she wanted was for this thing around affecting her wife and kid. At work soon after, she starts hearing the whispers again, seemingly coming from a nearby mirror. As she approaches it, she sees the reflection of her coworker come up behind her and stab her in the neck. Not just sees it, she feels it. She screams and clutches her neck as she jumps away from her coworker, but stops as she realizes there's no blood. He was just coming up to ask her about something, but was now looking at her with concern in his eyes as he asked if she was okay. She was also starting to feel as if she could feel and hear the negative emotions of the people around her, and freaked out on Lucinda one night after feeling like she could hear Lucinda telling her that she was crazy, that she hated her, and that she was going to leave her. During that argument, during that moment, Candace even picked up a chair with the intention of throwing it at Lucinda, but as she started to come to her senses and stop, they both watched as a different chair, right next to her, flew across the room and smashed against a wall, almost hitting Lucinda. As they looked up, they saw Ray Ray standing in the doorway. "Mommy, what's going on?" As Candace tried to stutter out an excuse, the lights in the room dimmed, and Ray Ray's face dropped. "You're lying to me," Ray Ray says in a monotone, almost teasing voice. "I don't like it when you lie. It makes me angry." Immediately terrified for her daughter's safety, Candace yells for Lucinda to grab Ray Ray and get out of the house. Candace, now at her wit's end, feels like the only way to truly keep her family safe was to split them up from her. Lucinda and Ray Ray move out, leaving Candace alone in the house. Candace quit her job, not being able to be around that amount of people anymore, and started drinking heavily. It gets to the point where Candace is so tired of everything going on that she tries to overdose on medication, but is thankfully rushed to the hospital before the entity can influence her to take her life. After being released from the hospital, Candace decides that she's finally had enough of whatever this entity was. She decides that it is time to get this thing out of her house. It was time to fight. She came home and opened every curtain, every window in the house, telling whatever this thing was that it was time for it to go. When the entity refused to leave, Candace brought in a medium who, in her inexperience, only stirred the pot and made things worse. Candace's sister suggested that maybe it's time for Candace to just get out of town. So, within that week, Candace and her sister loaded up all her things into a U-Haul and she moved down to Lafayette, Louisiana. But devastatingly to Candace, the entity followed her once again. Candace next decided that if she can't get rid of this thing that seems to feed off of anger and negative emotions, she would instead starve it. To this day, she works hard every day to keep her anger in check and to not dwell on negativity. These experiences have actually led Candace to pursue a hobby of paranormal investigating and she uses her knowledge that she learned while continuously fighting the entity to help her team. Candace fights every day to keep the entity at bay, but finds comfort in the fact that whatever it is seemed to have left her daughter alone. I'll leave you with this one last quote from Candace. "I try to take a negative and turn it into a positive, and you're not going to succeed all the time. But some days, you might be better than others."
Stories with kids always hit so much different.
No, for sure. Like, it's so predatory.
Yes.
For these, like, dark and evil entities to go after these children because, like, for one reason or another, children are more susceptible, where they are too pure-hearted to see through it, or whether, one reason or another. But I'm glad that she was able to, like, get her family out of that situation at the very least.
And I'm thinking, shit, if she's able to keep a positive attitude with all that shit going on, maybe I could try a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Like,
it's easy to dwell on stuff,
It's for sure easy to dwell on stuff.
I wonder how many people would dismiss that as a mental health crisis.
And, like,
a good majority, probably.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, because...
But the chair, they saw the chair.
No, yeah,
exactly.
There's the factors of the things flying across the room, and I guess one could argue that cup the first time, only Candace saw it, so maybe it could have just been her and she was lying. That's what some people could say. Yeah. I don't like that, but...
No, I don't either.
And then the spider bite on the finger.
The spider bite, I don't like that. And I also... They didn't make clear in the episode, like, if that wound stayed or not, but I'm assuming it did because it drew blood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, seeing that chair fly across the room on its own with enough force to shatter on the wall, like, it's definitely not mental health at that point, you know?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Right. Okay,
I applaud her for...
No, for sure,
being
yeah.
able to do what she did.
Yeah.
Because she protected her wife and her child.
It takes a lot of strength to do that, yeah.
It was a very, very selfless decision.
Yeah.
I remember when we first, when I finished this story the first time, there was a lot of silence just, like, taking in, like, because it's so much bad.
Yeah.
And it hasn't stopped. Like, this thing is still with her today, and that sucks.
Yeah,
like,
it's not the happy ending.
No. Because I love to see a story where, or I love to hear a story where they're able to, like, get rid of whatever this is affecting, where everything goes better. But I guess we also got to keep in mind that this just doesn't always happen.
Yep.
And like Candace, like, what do? Do you let it consume you, or do you keep fighting? Right?
Right. You got pictures for us?
I do have a couple pictures. Yes, I got 2. This first one is of Candace Weston herself. She is a paranormal investigator, like I mentioned, nowadays. But I also want to mention that apparently, from what it sounded like, what she was saying, this TV interview was the first time she had actually, like, laid all this out for anybody before, like in any kind of like setting like this, and she had to take multiple breaks just to like break down a little bit. She was like, I think I've gone too long without processing what's been happening. It was a heartbreaking episode to watch, like, for sure.
She was probably scared to talk about all of it, afraid that it would like take advantage of her in that time, right?
No, yeah, like, especially when you're like, no negative emotion, because that's gotta be so exhausting too.
Yes.
Like, I can't imagine. Really? Ugh. Okay, so, but yeah, that's Candace, and I have one more. This is what the show depicted the entity she was seeing as. This is what they depicted it as. It was, this is the scene where it's standing in the hallway.
At one point, I looked over at Dalia and I just mouthed apples.
That's why we were giggling.
Why?
Because it looks like the freaking thing from Death Note. Like,
yeah.
What's it called? Shinigami.
Ryuk.
Yeah,
the
Ryuk's
white
the name of one. The
Oh,
white
the
one.
white one.
The white one. What's his name?
I don't fucking know. Tell us in the comments.
A white man? No!
I think Brandon is Googling it.
Ryuk and Rem. It was Rem.
Rem.
Yeah, that one. That's right. I know it's a 3-letter word. That's all. I always know it's a 3-letter word. A 3-letter word. Yeah, sorry for my my mush mouth a little bit during that. My mouth is extremely dry. We just had like a bunch of tea, and I don't know if that dried it out or what, but I've been hydrating today, I promise. But yeah, so that's what the entity was depicted as in the show. Kind of looks like a Black Veil Brides member a little bit. But
Kiss? In this economy?
What?
Kiss?
Oh,
in
yeah.
this economy? Gene Simmons, is that you?
Jokes aside, I'd be terrified
Yeah.
seeing anything just standing in my home that's not supposed to be there. But especially looking as gangly and not okay as this thing.
Right. No, that's just Rem, though, for real.
Yeah. It's Shadow Rim. No, yeah, so that is my story today. Dalia, you have 2 for us, if I remember correctly.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I have 2 stories, and
So
I'm wondering how much of this that B remembers, because we talked about being forgetful after this. So I'm wondering if you remember my stories at all.
It'll probably come in trickles like Brandon's did.
That's how it works for me. Yeah.
I never knew what was gonna happen next, but I knew
Like when it happened, you were like,
overall,
yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like as he was saying things, I'm like,
I'm the
got
same
it.
way.
Oh,
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm the same way. So, all right. For this allegedly true encounter, it is, you guessed it, from Reddit. And I call this one... I call this one Grab the Flashlight. So let's get into it. I've been up since 5 a.m. and I just can't get this off my mind. So last night, I'm sleeping, and I'm having a nightmare that I'm in an apartment looking into a kitchen area, and the drawers, cabinets, and a door to the pantry were all opening, closing, and moving by themselves. Almost like poltergeist activity. I was scared in the dream, so I began praying, and then my wife, who was in the bed next to me, kicked my foot and woke me up because I was clearly distressed and mumbling a lot in my sleep. Here's where things get weird.
Dalia, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
We don't have to do this. We don't have to do this.
Okay, I won't. Please continue.
Remember to cut this out. Make sure you write this down.
It'll be fine.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a mystery.
Who knows? knows what
Very
happened?
stinky mystery.
Who knows what happened just now? Anyway.
Excuse me.
You okay?
Yep, I'm great.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So, as you know, she kicked him awake, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was clearly distressed and mumbling a lot in my sleep. Here's where things get weird. I jump awake because my wife kicked my foot, and feeling relieved to not be having a nightmare anymore, I turn my head towards my wife, who was laying behind me, and say, "Thank you, babe. I'm really sorry about that. I was having a nightmare." But I don't hear any response, so I figure that she's already fallen back to sleep, or might just be so tired that she's still kind of out of it. Then I turn my head back to facing forwards, the direction I was facing the whole time that I was sleeping, and I noticed something in the corner of the room standing in front of the bedroom door. The room was dark, but its skin still appeared to be like a dark matte gray color. It was really thin, had thin legs and long, thin arms, a small, almost childlike torso, a narrow neck, and then a really big, bulbous head with huge black almond-shaped eyes. It looked exactly like a traditional gray alien, but it was slightly transparent. Needless to say, I was shocked. And to be honest, my very first reaction was that I was seeing things because I'd just woken up. So I rubbed my eyes and it's still right there. Trying not to panic and trying to come up with a rational explanation for it, I thought, this must be dream chemicals still working in my brain. So I sit up slightly and look into the other corner of our bedroom by the closet, expecting to see something there too. But there's nothing. Then I look at the ceiling. Nothing. The floor. Nothing. The other wall. Nothing. I look back at the corner by the bedroom door, and it's still right there. Standing there, completely still, just staring at me with its huge jet black eyes. There's a little note here. It says, which were, as stated before, shaped like almonds, but they also appeared to wrap just slightly around the side of its head. Much, much larger than a human's eyes. And it's still slightly transparent, but I'm seeing it clearly. And only in that one spot, too. Not anywhere else in the room. Now, because the Texas power grid sucks, I always sleep with a flashlight next to the bed. And after seeing the thing for about a minute and a half, it occurs to me to grab the flashlight. I lean off the bed, reach down, and grab the flashlight and shine it in the corner of the room at this being. And because it's transparent, it became much less visible when I shined the light on it. I could still see it with very slightly, but it was much less. Again, in disbelief at what I was seeing, I began slowly scanning the whole room with the flashlight. From the bed, of course. I wasn't going to try to get out of bed. I was way too scared. And again, I see absolutely nothing strange anywhere in the room at all, except for this thing I can see in the one corner by the bedroom door. I turn the flashlight off, and instantly I can see it super clearly again, just staring at me. I rub my eyes again and squeeze my eyes together tightly, hoping that when I opened them, it would be gone. But it wasn't. So finally, I began truly freaking out internally and praying out loud. And after about 20 seconds of praying, I literally watched this thing just fade out of existence, dematerialize right in front of me. It was still standing there, dead still, and staring at me the whole time. It just seemed to suddenly begin becoming increasingly transparent until it was just not there anymore, and it was gone. I've been awake since then. Spent the rest of the night reading random stuff here on Reddit to try to distract myself because the experience shook me up quite a bit. I was wondering if anyone else here has ever experienced something like this. I feel so genuinely weirded out that I just don't know what to make of it, to be honest. So, what do we think? An alien? A demon?
I don't know about demon per se, because like that's a pretty wimpy demon if all you're gonna do is put a hologram of a gray alien. However, I will like one of the details I didn't remember from you reading it last time was the fact that its eyes slightly wrapped around the side of its head. I don't particularly like that.
Yeah, that makes me very uncomfortable.
Because like everything else is like, okay, I can picture the gray alien, but it's like its eyes are like either moved farther apart to be half on the side of its head, or its eyes are longer.
I'm thinking it's longer.
Hot dog style?
Like hot
dog. Another quotable thing for the merch.
Also, something we hadn't really considered last time, I don't think, is the ghost of an alien.
Interesting.
Not hitting? No, okay. That's fine.
I mean...
no, it's hitting. I'll have you know. There's smoke coming out of my ears as the wheels are turning.
Like, whoa, aliens can die.
Where do alien soul go?
Yeah.
Do aliens
I know all dogs go to heaven, but what about little gray dudes?
And it's so, like, it would be so easy to kind of like dismiss this one as like, well, you just woke up. But there's a lot of time that goes by from waking up to it fading away. And... like you said, he did all the checks. He did all the checks I would have done. Looking at different things to be like, all right, is it over here? No. Because if it is, it's probably just me. No, it's just there. Shine a flashlight on it. That's the weird... it acts like a hologram. I remember saying that last time.
Yeah.
But shining a light on it, and it's still just being there, but transparent. It's like a hologram almost.
I was going to say the next step is fist fighting that hologram.
Mm-hmm. So, about him being woken up by his wife's foot, do we think it was his wife's foot, or do we think it was the alien?
Ooh, another thing I just don't know. I'm wanting to hope.
What about the dream? The fuck does the poltergeist dream have to do with anything?
No, yeah.
How does it connect?
I don't know if it connects necessarily, or in the fact that maybe he woke up from it already a bit like freaked out because of it.
Yeah.
And then that just happened to happen.
Added on top of it. That makes sense.
I would say sleep paralysis, but
he's moving.
Moved around.
He's full moving, grabbing the flashlight and everything. Like, the only thing I really, is it? All right, we're gonna go off. We're gonna go a little batshit for a second. So,
hell yeah, my favorite.
Okay, so think about. It almost felt like it was observing. Like it wasn't moving. It was
I
just
was thinking
watching.
that too.
Very much observing. I almost wonder if the dream is connected and maybe its presence or whatever it's doing or checking on is what's causing the dream.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know. There's so many unknown possibilities when it comes to like alien stuff, and this one's odd, and I don't know what to make of it fully.
People would say like radiation. They could say
waves.
They could say like from the alien.
No, for sure.
It could be a number of things, and we just don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you guys want to see the picture?
Sure,
of course.
Let's see it.
Okay,
what do you got for us?
This is just gonna be a traditional gray alien. Obviously it was a little more transparent in the story.
Just a little. See, yeah, I'm looking at this, I'm seeing this, I'm thinking of it with longer eyes going around the side of its face a bit, and I'm...
Yeah. More like almond shaped, too.
And like...
Because the depiction of aliens had to come from somewhere, right?
You would think, and I know people make the argument to where, like, you have one person describing it as this, and now all of a sudden, like, everybody's describing aliens as looking like this. To me, that makes sense because, like, what if there's a similar kind of aliens, right?
Right.
But also, there's also a part of me that's like, it could also be them, especially now with this thing looking like a hologram, could be some kind of projection to make them be like, okay, this is what they're more comfortable with an alien looking like. This is what they think it is. I'm just going to put this here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So, when it comes to aliens, as much as I find stories and stuff fascinating, I never really know what to think of it because, like, I feel like I know a decent amount about ghosts, decent amount about like exorcisms and things like that. Aliens is a realm that I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I see them as like endless opportunity.
That, yeah,
because
that's fair.
yeah, and like we've talked about this before, our universe is vast and infinite, and there's no way that there cannot be other beings out there. I mean, for goodness sakes, when I say that, for goodness sakes, there could be a planet out there just like ours. Those people on that planet would be aliens to us if they visited our planet. Mm-hmm. So like, aliens could look like literally anything, and they could be anywhere, and they could be on our oceans. They could they could be in our society.
I'm a huge believer of we at least have a few aliens in that ocean. Like
lizard people are a big one for me.
Yeah,
I absolutely take that bait every time.
You ever seen a big fin squid?
Yes. Oh my god.
I would, looking at a picture of a big fin squid, I would 100%, if you told me that was an alien, I'd be like, yeah, 100% that's an alien.
I
sure.
believe it.
You gotta put a picture of a big fin squid.
I will not. You can look up a big fin squid.
Say that 3 times fast.
Big fin squid, big fin squid, big fin squid.
Oh, aren't you just special?
Skill issue. I got it. I can do it.
Get good,
let me
scrub.
finish. Damn.
I'm sorry. Go on then.
No, I don't want to know.
Yeah, intimidated, I see. Okay.
I
don't even remember what it was supposed to be.
Big fin squid.
Big fin squid. Big fin squid. Big fin squid.
You took a break.
Yeah, you did take a... You did pause.
Big fin squid. Big fin squid. Big fin squid. I did it. Why are you looking at me like that? I did it.
It almost sounded like she said
no,
beef and squid.
It wasn't that. I was thinking in my head because I don't think I can do it.
Okay. I'm like,
well, that means
it's like the dial-up sound was in your brain for a second.
Yes. That means you have to try because it's so funny when people fail. So now you gotta at least try.
That's a quote too. It's so funny when people fail. Brandon, 2025.
Yep. Big fin squid, big fin squid, big fin squid.
See,
there you go.
Probably the best one out of the three of us. Honestly.
Yeah. Believe in yourself.
0% confidence, 100% execution. Like,
listen,
amazing.
Do you know how long I spent working on enunciating my words from working in a call center?
Oh, I get it. I have a lisp. I have a lisp. And I used to like.
Your lisp isn't funny. I don't know why I laugh like that.
No,
it's
the way he said it because he was just like,
I lisp. I'm lisp man. No, but like I have a lisp, and I used to like play shows and stuff and sing on stage, and you have to enunciate if you want the words to sound good. Like. Yeah, so I got really good at enunciating, but I remember I had to see a speech therapist in kindergarten, and they couldn't fix me.
I know what'll fix that, an ice pick and a hammer. Come here.
I can fix him.
I can fix him.
I mean that quite literally because one of the biggest things they were trying to do is when I do the S sound. Yeah, do that. Okay, so notice where your tongue is when you do that, right? Is a good
behind
one for
my teeth.
Is a good one for the listeners too. If you're listening, follow along. Do the S sound. Look, do this when you're doing that. Where's your tongue right now, and how are your teeth positioned? Comment.
Is it the roof of my mouth? I think
my teeth or my teeth.
Your teeth.
My teeth are on top of each other, and my tongue is behind my teeth.
Yeah. Now watch when I do it.
So
my tongue is
put it in.
Snake. Put it in there.
So when I do my S's, my tongue is between my teeth. Like I bite my tongue almost doing it. And I've tried doing the other way. I cannot do it.
For the little snake.
I had a speech impediment when I was a kid. And I went to speech therapy for like 6 years for it. But now when I talk and I say words that have T's in them, like little, I have to think about how far I put my tongue out. Because I used to put it too far out, or like I would say cloud, and I would stick my tongue cloud all the way out instead of just cloud. Mm-hmm. So I have to think about how far I'm sticking my tongue out when I'm talking, and if I don't think about it, I look like a fucking dog with my tongue just with
that mouth.
All that to say, this story is an odd one. I don't quite know what's going on.
My mother says the same thing about me.
Okay, Dalia, you have a second story for us, right?
I do.
Awesome.
Yes. And I do want to start off by giving a trigger warning. This story does include the death of a child. It's pretty brief, but they describe how the child dies.
Okay.
Great one to end off on for me, I guess. I apologize.
Thanks, Dalia.
Yeah.
I love you.
Oh, I love you.
Every story with a child feels like a personal attack on B.
It really does. It really does.
So this next allegedly true encounter actually comes from the website Quora, not Reddit.
Odd. Okay.
I love that
I think we
website.
mentioned that last time, how it's odd to get like a story like this from Quora of all places.
Yeah. That's where I go for text questions, not paranormal stories.
It was posted years ago, by the way. I think it was
Back when Quora was Reddit. Yeah.
I don't quite remember how many years, but anyway, I've named this one The Vanishing Girl. So let's get into it. Let me start by making clear that I am a hardened skeptic and atheist. Aren't they all? I do not subscribe to any theological doctrine or believe in ghosts, aliens, or messages from beyond. I also do not believe in any form of New Age spiritualism. No crystals, no spirit healing, no entities watching over us. But there is this one incident that I cannot explain. My story takes place in the mid-1970s in a city in Germany. I was about 7 or 8 years old at the time. The house we were living in had an upstairs and a downstairs apartment. My family occupied the upper apartment, and a middle-aged couple lived downstairs. They made a bit of extra money by providing daycare for various children, but they never cared for more than one child at a time. I usually befriended those kids and was quite used to them not coming anymore because their parents' schedules had changed, or they moved, or whatever. Then there was this one girl I especially connected with. I have since forgotten her name, but I am sure it started with an R, so let's call her Regina. I still remember that she was 1 or 2 years older than me and had light curly hair. I thought she was beautiful. So one day, I was playing a kid's version of badminton with my mother on the big lawn right in front of our house. It must have been a weekend because it was around noon and I was not in school. We were passing the ball back and forth when I saw Regina standing in the doorway. I was not in the least bit surprised to see her and called out to her, something like, "Hey Regina, want to join us?" She answered, "I am going away, Ron. Goodbye." In German, of course. She looked absolutely normal to me and was wearing regular 70s clothing, if there is such a thing. But one thing struck me immediately. She was not smiling, but was very, very serious. Also, her voice was somehow flat. She then started calmly walking away from our house across the lawn and passed right between me and my mother. My mother then asked, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "Regina, you must have seen her." When I turned my head to look for the girl who should have been on the lawn, she had vanished. One day later, my father called me into the study because he had something to tell me. Regina had died in the downstairs apartment. She had played with a tape recorder that had faulty power cord and was electrocuted. My father said that he was so sorry, but also glad that I did not have to witness the ambulance and police arriving as I was in school. I then asked, "But when did this happen?" Turns out it happened the day before I saw her leaving the house. The obvious answer to this is that I must have overheard my parents talking, and my subconsciousness made this encounter up. I tell you, that is not true. Seeing Regina felt totally natural to me at first. And there is one more thing. Decades later, I was talking to my mother, a very rational woman, about this, and she revealed to me that my parents had planned to not tell me about the death at all. Remember, I was very much used to the kids from downstairs not showing up anymore, and my parents just wanted to leave it at that. My mother is adamant that they did not discuss the matter. They only told me because my mother heard me talking to Regina. I am now a 48-year-old man, and I have never encountered any other supernatural event in my life. When my beloved grandparents died and my adored father passed away much later, I was actively looking for signs. Although I had felt a connection to the girl, my emotional connection to my family had of course been much greater. But nothing ever happened. My memory of that day is still very clear, and I have not embellished the story in any way. And all these years later, I still ask myself, where did Regina go?
He sound like, to his credit, he does sound very matter of fact. Like, hey, this happened to me. I can't explain it. I'm not usually like into ghost tales. As far as like, which also so sad, by the way.
Very.
Like, ugh, that's rough. Child death is rough, regardless of like method. But I think for me, his wondering like why haven't I been able to find this kind of thing happen like with my family like later on. And I think it's such a simple thing of like kids are just more open to this thing, more susceptible to it, you know?
Yeah, I would agree, absolutely.
Obviously, Regina cared about him to visit him.
Yeah,
I believe so too.
Yeah.
So he may have been the one thing in her life that was good. I mean, we don't know anything about this girl.
No,
right?
We can only speculate.
He may have been like her whole world for all we know.
Yeah. At the very least, the very smallest thing was that was her friend, and he needed to know she couldn't play anymore.
Yeah.
Which is just like that's the child's mindset. That's a child's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, that's so sad. But no, yeah, that's you saw a ghost, my friend. Yeah, that's what that was. It's always bittersweet for the stories where it's like, I'm visiting you to tell you I can't see you anymore, that kind of thing, or to tell you I need to go. Those always feel like it's like they feel like they have a duty to be like, hey, I need to let you know, or somebody else needs to know, and that it pulls him a heart, man.
Didn't want to leave without saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I tell you what, the second time reading that, I almost teared up.
No, yeah, it was, for some reason, it's a lot sadder this time around than I remember feeling last time. Mm-hmm. Damn. All right.
So, are we ready for a picture?
Yes. Sure. What you got for us?
Now, you remember what year it was, correct?
1970?
It was in the 1970s Germany, correct?
Okay. Yes.
And this is a photo. Sorry, I'm trying to send it.
You're okay.
This is a photo from 1972 Germany. It's a German catalog, and it may be an accurate representation of what the little girl was wearing. Lots of blues and reds, turtlenecks, dresses, overalls.
These are fits, to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of love all of this.
They're fire. Oh my god. The like striped shirts with the blue overalls.
No, the bottom right. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Yeah, they fucking slap.
We should do a photo shoot and this comes out.
I would love to.
Can you imagine? We need to get a hold of like matching outfits of these, and then go to like Kohl's or whatever they do. Like,
quick,
who does?
Call the crochet friends.
True.
Call my grandma.
I
like,
crochet.
you have some fabric you can put together.
You crochet?
Yeah.
Get to it, I guess.
Friend.
Come on.
Then do it.
That's what I'm saying.
If you just give me a second, I was going to offer.
That's funny.
Okay, so I fully think we need to pick me up after that one. And if I remember correctly, I love B's story this time around.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
I'm excited. Let's get that last one off our minds a little bit.
So
at this, yeah.
Excuse me. If you remember, a few episodes ago, there was a story about a badass mom. And we love this
the mom
mom.
in the grocery store at the checkout.
Yes, the mom in the grocery
that
store. This story is about the same mother. So when we're looking at the grocery store story, one of the comments underneath of that says, "Are there any other stories that you'd like to share about her?" And OP responds, "So many. The year after my dad lost his job, excuse me." So many. The year after my dad lost his job, Xmas was tight. I was old enough to know what was going on, but my little sisters all still believed in Santa. My mom would sit at the table every night with her box of coupons, her shopping list, my sister's wish lists, and little piles of money. She'd move the coins over and paper bills around and sigh over and over every night for weeks. And then one day, my pal Julia stopped by after school, and we were in the kitchen making hot cocoa and chatting. Julia said she loved coming over because our house was so warm. What? My dad kept the thermostat at 65, and if we complained, he reminded us that wool socks exist. Julia mentioned that she and her mom and brother were all sleeping in the back bedroom together. Why on earth? Well, her mom had left their abusive as fuck dad that year and couldn't afford... What the hell? And couldn't afford the heating oil.
That's how I be looking at my notes sometimes for real, though.
While her mom had left their abusive as fuck dad that year and couldn't afford to have the heating oil tank filled in the tiny duplex that they were renting. So they had a little space heater and that was it. Fuck, words are hard.
I do be looking at my notes sometimes like that.
Uh-huh. That night, I was downstairs in my basement bedroom in my wool socks and stupid knit hat, working on my algebra homework and hating life. My mom knocked on the door and asked if I wanted to skip homework and go drive around to look at Xmas lights. Rather than head towards the area by the university where the rich people had amazing Christmas light displays, my mom pointed her old Pontiac toward the older, rougher side of town. So I asked her what was going on, and she said she was just curious as to where my friends all lived. So I showed her Lauren's house, Mike's house, Julia's house, and Anne's house, because they all lived on that side of town. She turned us toward home, but didn't pull into the driveway. She told me to get out and go finish my homework. She forgot to buy milk. Okay, Mom. The next morning, there was an entire gallon and another half gallon of milk in the fridge. That was weird. Christmas was meager, but a lot of fun that year. My sister finally got Mousetrap, something she's always wanted. I noticed that Santa had left the Salvation Army price tag on it, so I quickly pulled it off before my sister could see it. I got a secondhand cardigan, which was so chic in the grunge era, and a huge pile of CDs that didn't have any pesky plastic wrap to have to peel. The day after school got back from winter break, I stopped by Julia's house after school to show my mom... The day after school back... Why are we so hard today?
I'm just glad it wasn't just me.
The day after school got back from winter break, I stopped by Julia's house after school to show her mom my art project that I got to take home. It was a cast of my face that I made into a turtle. It was very deep and conceptual, you see. I walked in and oh my god, the house was so warm. What happened? Julia said that they were able to get the heating oil. How? They were worse off than we were. Julia said that just before school let out, her mom found an anonymous Christmas card with money in it in their mailbox. Anonymous? Who do they think did it? Her mom assumed it was her coworkers because it was a bunch of small bills. 1s, 5s, even a few quarters scotch taped to the back of the card. I came home and told my mom about it while she was clipping coupons, and she didn't really react. She said, Margaret, Julia's mom, must have some very generous coworkers. I said, Mom, I know it was you. She looked up at me and said, Sweetheart, it was Santa Claus. It was you, Mom. That was Santa, and that's the last we're saying in that matter. Go set the table.
What a fucking badass.
So I would love to be in that kind of position.
No, for sure.
Where I could, even just a little bit, be able to help someone else. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to those moments when they do come in. It's not even so I can be like, look at me, I'm helping people. But like, it genuinely feels good to help other people. And you get nothing out of it, but just that gratification of knowing that someone else's day is a little bit better because of something you did.
100%.
Even if it was just a smile.
Yeah.
Sometimes just a smile from a stranger, it could be enough to really save someone's day.
And as like, obviously, this day and age, really hard to get the money to just like,
yes,
just to help people randomly. But I found that it also does some good in the world to just compliment people randomly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you like someone's nail polish, their shoes,
not wanting anything out of it. No, just
yeah.
For the past like maybe 10 years. Coming up on 10 years. Since getting out of high school, I have been doing my best to be like, I just want to compliment people. I want to make people feel good about themselves. So like, you see fresh nails. Oh, hey, I love your nails. Like, I love complimenting people on like their cool hair and shit. Like, I love it. I think it's really dope.
I don't dye my hair rainbow for men. I dye my hair so little kids come up to me and go, I like your hair. Are you a princess?
No, yeah, it's
Yeah, obviously. Princess.
No.
obvious.
Duh.
Fuck you mean?
Unless you ask my daughter, then I'm just a juice wench.
A what?
A juice wench.
A dwench, if you would.
Yeah, a dwench.
Dwench.
A dwench.
Mommy, are you a dwench?
Mm-hmm. My youngest, she calls water wah. She'll come up to me. She'll bring her cup. She'll shove it in my face, and she'll go,
Wah.
"Mommy, wah."
Reminds me of that Astif movie skit where it's like, oh, look at the little baby. Now look at the big baby. Wow.
Yes,
It's like,
yes, that is my little one.
love that shit.
Goo goo gaga.
Well, thank you for that, B. And everybody, thank you for joining us today. My ass is sweating because where we are, we have like 100. We have like 100-degree heat index going on. We are our recording room is upstairs. We do have air conditioning and a fan though, so we're doing okay on that front. I've been getting some nice breezes, but I know, especially when doing my story, I got really like, oh no, because I would keep messing up.
Yeah.
Well, I feel great. Skill issue.
No, yeah, you did great.
Yeah. Dalia, MVP
The only one of us
today's
who
session.
did not mince words once.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I stumbled a couple
Hey,
times.
in
Not
my
that I remember.
defense, I haven't smoked any weed since like 11 o'clock.
Me neither.
Okay,
Except
well,
it's been
I
since,
haven't
like,
smoked
December.
any weed
Okay,
in
but listen.
28 years.
I smoke all day. That's my
Yeah.
personality now.
Oh, no.
I'm one of those. So I haven't smoked since 11.
I can't wake up for work if I smoke the day before.
So my little TMI. My SSRIs that I take, they're not doing what they need to do. They're still working, but not fully. So I use that to kind of like supplement it and help it. And it works really well for me. I'm somebody that struggles a lot with executive dysfunction and like making myself get up and get my chores done and things like that.
Same.
Man, I go outside, have me a couple little puffs, put some music on, and my house is clean. It's great.
My puffs are called Brandon Lee. He helps
Hi.
me get up to do my chores.
Hello.
I love that for you.
It's basically because I'm very like, this needs to get done. Come on, help.
And I'm like,
This needs to get done.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys. This is, again, for the first time recording in the middle of the week. This was actually really nice. This is a nice little thing to look forward to after work.
I could handle like one episode in the middle of the week.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
Which we talked about like way before. Like if we need to, we can, and we did because we needed to.
Yep.
But yeah, let's see, not this weekend. Next weekend, we're having just a full recording sesh. I am
Full on.
excited for that one, too.
because this weekend I'm going to Chicago
Yeah.
to see my first K-pop group live.
I'm
so
happy for you. I'm excited for you, yeah.
In case you forgot.
Just in case.
Just in case. Also, actual episode 10. Hell
Actual
yeah.
episode
Actual
10.
episode 10. I'm sorry. Please continue, Brandon. I had to get excited.
If weeks for years, this will be a decade.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's basically 2 months.
Yeah.
Roughly 2 months,
Yeah.
give or take.
Fuck yeah, snaps to that.
I dropped my vape. My adult pacifier. No.
But, thank you guys for sticking with us for 10 episodes. If you're just joining now, hello. Hope you stick with us for the next 10. But yeah, find us everywhere but Twitter, because fuck Twitter.
Fuck Twitter.
We're on Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, and that's it, I think. Right?
TikTok?
We are on TikTok. I forgot about that. We are on Tickum Talks. We do be Tickum them talks.
I be taking them talks.
I do.
Yeah.
I be sending my friends like, you have been watching the ones I've been sending you, right? The millions. Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right, cool.
Yes, every morning that I wake up, there's like 25 TikToks from Brandon sending my DMs. At least. It's perfect. I save them all up for when I first get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I'll go out, have my tea, have my joint, watch Brandon's TikToks. Mm-hmm. That's how I start my day.
It used to be coffee and cigarettes, right?
Yep, now it's tea and a joint.
Fuck yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Love that. Hell yeah.
I am. Oh. I know I mentioned that I do vape. but I am over 2 years cigarette free.
Which
And I'll
very
take that. That's a win.
No, very proud of you for
Fuck
that.
yeah.
Considering I've
Absolutely.
been smoking cigarettes since I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'll take it.
That's huge.
No, yeah. Huge
Fuck
W.
yeah, dude.
Yes.
Common BW.
Common BW. Yeah.
But so check us out, all of those places. Keep coming back.
Please.
You can rate and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Facebook of all places. Found out like
All right,
they don't
Meta.
have like a normal like rating system. You get to leave a review and you get to like, would you or would you not recommend this? And then after
Oh.
so many, Facebook gives us a rating. So like,
Oh, that's
Interesting.
interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. So
I'm
Good
not
to
the
know.
biggest fan of Facebook lately, so
I've never been the biggest fan of Facebook.
that's true. That's also
Unfortunately, that's where everybody is.
true. That's where I'm at.
All
I've
the
had that
family
account
and everything,
since
yeah.
2009,
Yeah.
I think. So.
Yeah, like I've been laying groundwork on that shit since middle school.
Only
Yeah.
been banned a few times.
I've never been banned. Skill issue.
I
Anyway.
like to fight.
You do like
I got a
Strangers on the
strike on my
internet.
TikTok for commenting "Ho is you good" with a heart next to it. I'm not kidding.
Isn't
I took
that
a
a
screenshot.
trend right now?
Yes. This poor girl. I don't remember what it was she was going through, but she was having a really hard time and she was crying and
Ho
she was
is you
going
good?
through it. And I commented, "Ho is you good" with a little yellow heart.
It
And
said,
TikTok
"No."
said,
I wonder if
That's
someone-
rude.
I wonder
You
if
can't
someone
say good in
reported
this
you.
chat.
It was right after right after.
Oh,
Yeah, after I
Oh.
posted the comment. A little
Weird.
notification popped up
Very
and
weird.
said, "Dulup."
That is
But then I
strange.
went and I appealed it, and it approved the appeal. But then I got the notification that said I had a new strike on my account.
The point is, we are places. You can listen to us.
What he said.
You can listen to us where you're listening right now. However, if there's other places you would rather listen, we're probably there too. Yeah, we're everywhere. I think. I not
I'm pretty
NPR.
sure.
We're not
No,
on
we're
NPR.
not on NPR.
We are actually on Reddit, but I haven't made
We're
moves to.
we're
I haven't made
technically
moves
on
to have,
Reddit.
a actual profile. Anyway, who's doing our outro today?
We're on
Hold
Outlook.
on, wait.
What
Do we
is
have
it?
anything else to say? I think that's
Oh,
it. I think-
TPIBOTE at Outlook.com.
Yeah. That's what I was getting ready to
if
go
you
into.
have any wholesome stories
Thank
you
you.
want to send to B, or any scary stories, scary paranormal instances that you want to send to Dalia, send them all to TPIBOTE at outlook.com. And if you would, just kind of put who they're for in the subject line, like B story or Dalia story, and then send the whole thing, and you may appear here. You may be listening to your story not too long from now. Other than that, I think that's finally everything.
I believe so.
Okay.
One hell of a 10th episode.
One
Finally.
hell of a 10th episode.
Hey, it got done. So.
Yeah. We had to have something go wrong in the first 10 episodes.
Oh, of
and
course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't be real if not.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my throat's really dry. My ass is really wet. So, who wants to lead us out?
I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. As always, we love you. And this podcast is based on true events.